It's just depressing, man. It's depressing. You know, this game against the Bengals today, the Titans are already eliminated from playoff contention, you know, so most people would say this game was meaningless anyway. Most people would say the Titans needed to lose to help their draft position, and I get all of that, but even though I knew that, the Titans still found a way to make this as depressing as it could possibly be. They still found a way. It's almost impressive. They still found a way to make it as depressing as possible. Let's start with the quarterback. You know, I have said for weeks, even during that period of time when he was playing better, I always said I'm not as sold on him as some of you. And I've even called attention to some bad plays that he has made against Jacksonville last week with the miss to Chigakonkwo, the pick six against Houston. When I call attention to that, I have had people giving me backlash and turmoil because it's the offensive line's fault. It's Callahan's fault. It's somebody else's fault. I take no pleasure in saying I told you so today. I don't have the words to describe his performance today. He got benched. He got benched. He threw 3 interceptions. One of those is a pick six. At one point, he was standing over there laughing on the sideline in the fourth quarter. You know, it just is awful. And on one hand, I say I told you so, but on the other hand, I got duped too, because even though I wasn't as sold on him as you guys, I've been saying for weeks, he's the best option in 2025. I'd rather go with him than draft somebody or go get a free agent or whatever. I'd rather go with Will. I would rather stick with him. I've been saying that for weeks, even though I wasn't as sold on him as some of you. I was sold on him enough to say we'll give him next year. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Today ruined any, no pun intended, goodwill that he had with the fans, because he ruined it. He ruined it. He reverted right back. We had talked ourselves into believing that he had graduated from that. That stuff we saw against the Bears and the Jets and the Packers and the Colts back earlier in the season, we talked ourselves into believing that he had graduated from that and he had improved and he was turning the corner and he's getting better and it's starting to click. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. He reverted right back to the same old stuff today, and it was awful. And it ain't nobody's fault but his. It's not Callahan. We're going to get to Callahan, but it ain't Callahan's fault. It ain't the offensive line's fault. It ain't the receiver's fault. It ain't the offensive coordinator's fault. It's on him. It's on him. The last interception that he threw, which was a pick six, he had all day to throw. He had all day to throw, and he did what he did. He threw a pick six. So as far as I'm concerned, the Will Levis thing, it's over. And I was rooting for the guy. I really was. I wanted to go into next season feeling like he could do the job. But it's impossible now. It's impossible to talk myself into it now. And I hate that. I'm not anti-Will Levis. Just because I've called out some of the bad plays he's had over the last few weeks, I am not anti-Will Levis. I am pro-Will Levis. But it's impossible to believe that this guy could be anything for the Tennessee Titans. Brings me to Brian Callahan. Listen, I'll just say the biggest thing that I thought was giving Brian Callahan the most job security was needing continuity for Will Levis. That's what I've gone back to. If you're going to bring Levis back next year, you got to bring Callahan back too, because you need that continuity. Will doesn't need to learn a third offense in his third year in the NFL. But if Will Levis is out, I think that hurts Callahan's job security. And even if you don't believe he's going to be a one and done, even if you don't believe he should be a one and done coach, I will just say this. Everything that would need to happen for him to be a one and done coach is happening before our very eyes. After that Houston win a few weeks ago, if you had asked me what would need to happen from here for Brian Callahan to be fired at the end of the year, I would have said, come out flat against Washington and be down 28-0 by the middle of the second quarter and get completely outcoached. Then come home and get humiliated by the Jaguars, put up 6 points against one of the worst teams in the league, and just get embarrassed on your home field. That would be the next thing. And then I would have said, get beat by his former team by turning the ball over 6 times, committing stupid penalties all day, benching his young quarterback in the third quarter, and rightfully so. That's probably the layout that I would have said. If these things happen, he could be one and done. And what has happened? Exactly what I just said. Everything that would possibly need to happen for Brian Callahan to be one and done is happening before our very eyes. And I'm just going to say, Amy Adams Strunk, the owner of the Tennessee Titans, has fired coaches or GMs for less than this. She fired Mike Mularkey when I did not think she would. She fired him after they won a playoff game. She fired John Robinson when I did not think she would. She fired Mike Vrabel when I did not think she would. She has pulled the trigger before with less cause than she has for Brian Callahan right now. The Tennessee, and listen. The Tennessee Titans looked so bad today that I have to believe anything's possible right now. Like, this is a team, like, at one point watching this game, I literally, and I said it on the Two-Tone X account, I asked the question, and some would say it's overdramatic, and some would say it's just caught up in the moment, maybe so, but I literally asked, is this the worst team I've ever seen? Are the Tennessee Titans at this point, are they the worst team I've ever seen? Now, probably not, because I think the Giants might even be worse than them, but it's close. But I literally had to ask myself, could it be any worse? Could it be any worse than what I'm watching right now? Because I don't know. I really don't know. Poor tackling, it's been a problem all year. Penalties, it's been a problem all year. Turnovers, been a problem all year. And I've said it time and time again. One of the most discouraging things about Brian Callahan is that this same old stuff never gets better. It never gets better. And today was a prime example. It's the same stuff. And this team, I was interested in seeing how this team would fight for Brian Callahan against his former team. Boy. T'Vondre Sweat had a great play. That at least made me feel something for a little bit. But other than that, I'm worried. I'm worried about the future. How do you feel good about Brian Callahan right now? How do you feel good about Will Levis? Well, it doesn't matter if you feel good about Will Levis. I think he's done. I don't know. I don't think there's any coming back from this. I don't know what Callahan's saying in the post-game press conference is happening right now. Who cares? Is it on?
I felt confident in our plan. I felt confident in where the guys were at. I knew they'd come out and play their tails off. And I was excited for the game. And I thought we had a plan that was going to give us a chance to win this game, and we were.
Well, it didn't, and you didn't. I'm at a loss, man. I'm at a loss. It's one thing for the present to be bad, but I need some kind of hope that the future is not going to be bad. And right now I don't have that, and that scares me. It scares me because what are we going to do? What are we going to do? I don't think his job is nearly as secure as it was. I know Will Levis' job isn't secure at all. So I'm baffled. I'm baffled. And I didn't expect to be this depressed after the Titans game today because I knew they were already eliminated from playoff contention and needed to lose, but they still managed to get me. So, miserable season, man. Miserable.